Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Check out all my other videos on YouTube. Check out the Facebook Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page. And check out Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba for more content. Okay, so we are continuing our Force Friday haul with a few more items, kind of different, unique items that I want to share with you today. Okay, first up right here, we have our titanium figure series. They came out with a series of these from the original trilogy, and now they have a series from the new trilogy, and these are actually 3 of 4. There is Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren. The fourth one being Captain Phasma, which was not available when I was looking. So we will open up them. We also have an exclusive DJ Funko Pop from GameStop, which we'll do an opening for that. We have from the Hot Wheels Starships, we have the Kylo Ren TIE Slicer with complete with stand, and we have the 2-pack of Kylo Ren and Snoke character cars once again from Hot Wheels. So why don't we just jump right in and check out the display pieces here. These are definitely more display pieces, not action figures. They do have some options that are pretty cool. For example, the stand can either be the silver kind of almost Black Series looking character, or it can be a backdrop. I'm going to keep it on the backdrop. You also have the option of choosing a static lightsaber, which I am not going to choose. I'm going to leave that out, in favor of a really cool effect. It is I call it the swoosh lightsaber, and it actually it looks like it's caught mid-animation, swooshing across. I've got to work on getting it out, but again, always have an X-Acto knife available, and it comes right out. And then it also comes with these really nifty little pegs. You know, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, opening these up, Star Wars, Hasbro has tried a lot of interesting techniques to get figures to fit on their stands. Whoops, sorry about that. And I feel like this one is probably among the better ones. I say that as I'm having trouble getting Rey's. There we go. I like the titanium series. They've done cars, they've done helmets, they've done all sorts of different things. And I've always been a pretty big fan of what they're able to come up with. I think the titanium idea... Get back in there. Go, go, go. Down, down, down. All right. Then I just take the 2 remaining pegs and I just stick them anywhere. If there's a bunch of holes, you can put them in. The funny thing is that I don't really know what good all these other holes would be unless you're just putting one thing in there. And I just slide the other lightsaber there. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll kind of go back and forth just to kind of break it up a little bit. Why don't we move on to the Kylo Ren TIE Slicer? But before we do that, just take another quick look at that. Obviously, this is Force Awakens Rey. Even though these figures did come out around the time of Force Friday, they might have come out a little earlier, to be honest with you, but because I wasn't sure. I haven't been in the stores a few days before. But technically, it's a Force Awakens character. So, and we have the TIE Slicer, which is definitely a Last Jedi item. I love this toy. I love this style. They do have an action figure size version. I am holding off on it. Honestly, folks, you know, there's been a lot of talk about different things, and there have been complaints for people wanting more ships, and I get that. You know, ships are great, play sets are awesome, but the problem is that, you know, financially you can only buy so much. All right, I mean, you know, this is a hobby. This is not by any means a am I doing this right, or is it this way? Huh. Interesting. Get that. It did come. Looks like, yeah, it did. I thought it came with a little instruction booklet here. Let's take a look at this. Oh, this is just showing which ones you can get. Okay. But it does kind of give me a heads up of which ones. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Cool. Cool stuff. I love the tie slicer. Okay, it's a little more thinner, I guess you could say, or not quite as rounded as some of the other tie vehicles. So I'm looking forward to that. But as I was saying, yeah, there is a little bit of debate about. A lot of people say, look, if you want Hasbro to make more toys, more play sets, more vehicles, more larger vehicles, you need to speak with your pocketbook, and I agree with that. But I also feel that you have to make choices from time to time, and there comes a time with all the product that they offer, and they offer a ton of product. There comes a point sometimes where you have to choose to purchase something, maybe when it's a little bit discounted or a lot discounted, and saying, it's not that we don't want to buy it, it's saying that we don't want to buy it at that price. And I know that that's not a popular, certainly not a economical, an economically sound thing to do, because eventually, Hasbro could just say, well, then we're just not going to make them anymore. There's not enough profit in it for us. So, I get that as well. But I made quite a big dent in my budget for Star Wars toys. So I think I'm not the kind of person that they're shying away from. So we'll see what happens with that. But I do believe that the tie slicer will be in the collection eventually. Now we have Finn. Okay, and again, he comes with his backdrop. Looks like I'm guessing it's either the Starkiller base or maybe, I'm not sure. It's either Starkiller base or it's on the Han and Chewie's freighter vessel. But I'm gonna say I think it's there. I think it's that. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm gonna just use my X-Acto knife right away, and the stuff comes right out. Yay! Pulling him out of this is a little bit more challenging. I gotta give him. There we go. Nice. Okay. Oop! Don't forget about the pins. Gotta remember the pins. There was a couple of other items that came out this week that I decided against. Some for temporarily. One of them is the BB-8 playset. I really want it. I want it badly. I really can't afford the $200 price point. I'm hoping to have it go down at least a little bit. It doesn't have to go down a lot, but a little bit would be extremely helpful. And the other thing is there was something that came out. It was like I can't remember the name of it. It was Vader and Luke, and they were kind of in this statuesque pose. And oh, geez, there it is. Okay, it's like there's only one way that they can fit in here. The statuesque pose. It reminded me, if those of you have been around collecting a while, reminded me of The Force Unleashed. Or is it? I think, or not The Force Unleashed, the Star Wars Unleashed, or the Unleashed figures, which were like these statuesque figures that were amazing and were very epic looking. And I get it. It's kind of like what a lot of other like McFarlane toys and stuff do, like these. They're not really action figures, they're more like display pieces. And I think Star Wars is trying to cash in on that. But I felt that for a $50 price point, and considering the fact that I have a whole slew of those Unleashed figures in their package still, that I'm actually thinking about selling, because they were interesting at the time, but they just don't have the appeal, the long-lasting appeal. There are toys in my collection that I will never part with, and then there are toys that I keep for a couple of years, so maybe 5 or 10 years, and then I think I think I've had enough of those. I'd like to make room for something else, and that's what I do. So I'm not going to be purchasing them. All right, next up we have the character cars. Kylo Ren and Snoke. I believe I already have a Kylo Ren. I'm sure they've altered it slightly to reflect The Last Jedi. But I was really interested in Snoke. I love this. I am not a car person. I'm not a car enthusiast other than just, when I do see an old car, classic car, souped up hot rod, I do, make a second look. But I just love the idea of the character cars that are not so Disney-fied, and don't get me wrong, I love those as well, but Disney-fied meaning the Disney cars that they've had where they're much more animated, they're much more exaggerated, almost like caricatures, whereas these are much more subtle. They're meant to be cars first and they're characters second. And the Kylo Ren, it always looks kind of cool. It does have a different type of hood because there's a different feel to some of what his costume is. But then there's Snoke, and it just has a real kind of Rolls Royce type of look to it. So very cool stuff. Loving that. So that's those two. Okay, and then our final, speaking of which, Kylo Ren titanium figure. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen it yet, but it's interesting to see, and it looks like he's definitely on Jakku. He's on that village in Jakku from the very first scene. He also has his whoosh lightsaber. I don't know why I call it that, but I do. His whoosh lightsaber, and he has a second. Oh, it looks like you can display his helmets in a couple of different ways. That's cool too. So very cool stuff. I don't know why these appeal to me. I can't explain. Some people ask me why do certain things appeal to you and certain things don't. And I'm not a completist. I'm not a Rancho Obi-Wan, although I have a great respect for Rancho Obi-Wan, and it's my Graceland, and I hope to visit someday. I do not. Sorry for the noise. I do not in any way consider myself aiming to try to make that many purchases in my life and to have a chicken coop that I turn into a collection. I am perfectly content with the space I have, and I'm happy to keep that where it is. And I do increase it here and there. Obviously, with every new movie comes new toys, but they're small and they take up very little room, especially again out of the package, which is why I unbox. And that allows me to make more purchases and display them a certain way. There he goes, Kylo Ren. You know what I've come for. But nonetheless, I'm not a completionist, as I've mentioned in the past. Completionist is, nobody can be a completionist. I mean, even Rancho Obi-Wan is not a completionist. They're always looking for stuff. And every time new items come out, they're not getting every single thing. They're probably getting a lot of it, and they're probably getting multiple versions of a lot of it, but they're not getting everything. So I feel that, you just find the interesting things that appeal to you. What interests me is, I love the figures. I love the vehicles, the play sets. I love, some tchotchke, interesting things that might not be the most common. And that's the kind of stuff you see me unbox from time to time. I like the different things. Like there's a lot of different cutesy things now, like itty bitties from Hallmark and little Tsum Tsums from Disney. I like some of those. I don't collect them all. There's now a group called Dorbs, as in Adorbs, is coming out with a whole set of stuff. I'm not into that. I don't have any intention of that. The Funko Pop, I'm not getting all of them. I'm just, finding occasional ones here and there. I do the Smuggler's Bounty, things that come in like that, and that's what I enjoy. So that kind of is where I am in the way of my collecting. And of course, there's also expenditures. Like people ask me, how come you don't collect more Lego? I say, well, it's because it's expensive. I do little Legos because they're less expensive, and I'll make smaller purchases like those buildable figures, that type of thing. And occasionally I'll get a bigger one, but for the most part, no. And yes, by the way, before anybody asks, There will not be any Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon here. It's an $800 toy. $800 can last me years in purchasing a lot of other things. So no. All right, but our last one here is our Funko Pop GameStop exclusive DJ. DJ, of course, being played by Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi. Not quite sure what his character is, but I'm assuming it's a disreputable type, and I believe they said something about a hacker, so like a computer hacker, a disreputable computer hacker. There he is. He's got his little boop, boop, boop. All right, his little bobble. He's got his little trench coat. Definitely looks like a Benicio del Toro type of character. All right, so that's cool. And that is a very varied set of collectible items for unboxing this week on Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. Again, check out my page, check out on Facebook, check out the other videos I have. There's tons of videos. Go back to the very beginning. You can see a lot of cool stuff, a lot of new stuff, some old things that I've already unboxed, but I've just taken out to show because I think they're cool. So people were asking, am I going to do any more live videos? I'm kind of shying away from that. The live video is kind of tough for me to do. My schedule makes it challenging. But from time to time, you never know. We'll see what happens. All right, but that'll conclude it for now. So I will see you next time. But until then, may the Force be with you.